Hey everyone, it is Dave. Welcome in. It's time to talk about module number 6. Last week we talked about Edward Manet, and his group of artists called Manet's Circle spun off to become the Impressionists. So Impressionism is now finished, and we're dealing with post-Impressionists and primarily Vincent van Gogh. So we have an entire lecture just on him and then one lecture on the other post-Impressionists. We're going to be talking about Fauvism and Cubism, and those are artworks that we see or art movements from the early 20th century. So we are already into the early 1900s. This week we do have a Picasso project. Make sure you look at that early because it does require you to create a small Picasso-esque artwork, which is a lot of fun, and of course it's abstract, so especially if you can't draw, this is perfect for you. And we also have our 2 journal entries like usual. So don't forget, next week is the last of the material that we will get to. That'll be Module 7. Module 8 is where the final exam is going to be. And you do have some flexibility again with the lectures. If you need to put something off a week, that's totally okay. But I would definitely watch the Van Gogh lecture this week as well as the Picasso lecture, because that will help you at least a little bit on the upcoming project. So with that, let me take you over to the Canvas site. I'll walk you through module number 6. All right, here we are on the Canvas site. You can see we just have a couple modules left down here, and we're going to look into module number 6 today. The usual suspects up at the very top, our video you're watching, the introduction, and my office hours every Wednesday. The first lecture is on post-impressionism, our study guide. The only thing in the post-impressionist extra stuff is a video which is actually a full-length documentary. You do not need to watch it for this class, but it is a phenomenal movie, especially if you are into art theft. This is about a guy who passes away and he runs an art school out of his home, and he is like a multi-millionaire, and so you're looking and dealing with real like post-impressionist art. After he dies, the government officials of Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Museum, want to take it away and have it for them. And it's wild and wacky. And if you don't like politicians or lawyers, you'll hate them even more after this video. But again, just something I would watch later after the semester. One of what I think is the best lectures of this semester is on Vincent van Gogh. We have a whole lecture about his life and his art, the study guide, and then for the further exploration section, I've got a link to the different letters that we have that have all been scanned and translated. If you're a Doctor Who fan, we have an episode of Vincent and the Doctor. Inaccurate, but definitely a wonderful episode and quite a tearjerker. Don McLean, Vincent, his song Starry, Starry Night, which came out in the 70s. You can listen to that. And then In Search of, an excellent 1970s TV show that is just focused this episode on Vincent van Gogh. After that, we have a lecture on Fauvism, the study guide, and there is no extra material for this lecture. For Picasso, we have our lecture study guide, and here there's just a couple short videos. There's only one film, really, of Picasso, and it's 2 hours of him drawing. It is a horrible film, because I have watched it all the way through, and once I watched it, I actually threw the DVD away. That's how bad it was. This 2-minute section shows you exactly what the 2-hour film was, with his basically drawing on this lighted background. And it's fairly interesting, but, you know, it is what it is. This one is really important, though. Picasso's Guernica, one of his most important paintings, probably the second most important painting he does after La Demoiselle d'Avignon. So make sure to watch that. And then those are the lectures. We'll jump down to the journals real quick. Journal number 9 deals with Matisse and Fauvism. He has a writing called Notes of a Painter. And again, one of the cool things about modern art is that we have documentation, we have videos of all of these individuals, and particularly here, it's great to hear their voices for what their thoughts are about art. So this is Matisse's writing. It's one of, I think, the most important writings of art history. The other one will actually be next week when we learn about futurism. And then for journal number 10, that's going to be a little writing on or from Picasso, and it's called Picasso Speaks. So it's about 2 pages about Cubism. Now, we just have one project this week, and as a reminder, if you have not completed the architecture worksheet, please make sure to go ahead and do that. And this week we have a Picasso discussion board. What I'm going to have you do is create a Picasso-esque or Picasso-type drawing. So for this project, what you're going to be doing is taking one object, and you can decide on the object, and then you're going to create a cubist drawing from it. Now, Cubism, the idea is that there's a certain flatness of field. We're not using linear perspective. We are repeating an object by itself. So in this case, we're repeating an object. So we're saying all sides of it at the same time. So you can see in this case, we have a water bottle and a straw, but you can see a straw over here and a straw over here. This kind of looks like the top and how fractured the object is. The idea of repeating the object and really seeing the object from all sides at the same time. So scientifically or in physics, it would be like the theory of relativity, where there's a breakdown of time and space. It's really kind of cool. Everything is of the now. So please do not create a face. That's not what this project is about. Do not just fracture an object in terms of drawing it and then dividing it up. But it is a little bit more thought involved with that. Of course, don't copy anything from online. Usually I catch at least 1 or 2 students in each class who tries to copy something and puts it as theirs. Please don't do that. The idea of this is abstraction, everyone can draw it, and I really want you to have a good time with this project. Please use drawing paper or something equivalent. A little bit more substantial than printer paper will get your best results. Colored pencils work best for this project, and again, one object only for this project. It is due by the 23rd, and you do have a response due by March the 2nd. After that, that is going to be it. Let's take a look. I think that is everything. It is. I will see you guys next week to talk about module number 7.